அது
உனக்குமே உட்கார்ந்து எல்லா குழந்தைகளுக்கும் இப்போ உள்ளது போன பார்த்து சேர்த்ததுனால சாப்பிட்டு பாப்பா அம்மா ஃப்ரீயா இருக்கும் போது அப்பா உட்கார முடியும் மேத்ஸ் உட்காந்து சொல்லி கொடுக்க முடியும் அப்புறம் அவனோட போன் அந்த காலத்துல என்ன போன்
லக்ஷயா ஸ்பெல்லிங் சொல்லுங்க நீங்க. நானே அது பேரை மறந்துட்டேன்.
ஆடாம சொல்றது எங்க அம்மா இக்கினா சாவம் சுத்தி
சந்தோஷமா விளையாடி உங்களுக்கு சில நினைவுகளை உருவாக்குறாங்க.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Jyoti Kothur, madam, and Dr. Padma Anil Kumar. Good evening, both of you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam. Shall we start the program, madam? I'm
Yes,
Salva.
sir.
Welcome, madam. Welcome. Good evening to you.
Madam, good evening. Jyoti, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, madam. Good evening, madam. Welcome. Happy good evening to everyone. Today we have interesting topics to be delivered by two eminent personalities regarding our career growth, our young students. And the topic only is about career planning and their future with the sciences. The madam Jyoti Kothur, counseling psychologist, is going to deliver the first topic. Second topic is second topic is humanities, arts, and other next generation careers. That is going to be delivered by Dr. Padma Anil Kumar, founder director, Mr. Sitara, Chennai. To start the function, I call upon Dr. Karupasamy, our past chairman, to preside over the today's program as well as welcome the gathering, sir. Over to Dr. Karupasamy. Karupasamy, sir. Hello?
Hello,
Dr.
Selvaraj.
Karupasamy?
Yes,
sir.
I am on the line.
Please preside over, sir. Please preside over.
Yeah. Good evening to all. It gives me immense pleasure to participate and proceed over today's important webinar presentation. Today's program is specially organized for the benefit of younger generation to plan for their career for a better future. Today we got two eminent speakers, specialists and human psychologist Dr. Padma Anil Kumar and Mrs. Jyoti Kothur. The counseling experts will share their present experiences and give career guidance with the new gen sciences. Today's presentation will be done in two parts. The first part of the program will be done by Jyoti madam on career planning for the better future. The second part, Dr. Padma Anil Kumar will do the presentation and humanities and other next generation careers. So I hope all the participants going to enjoy in another 2 hours and make it very useful for their lifetime. Today's webinar is organized by Institution of Engineers India in association with Indian Welding Society, Indian Institute of Welding, Indian Institute of Metallurgy, Indian Institute of Industrial Engineers, and Kumari Arivial Peravai. Both the speakers are readily accepted our invitation in short notice, and we are really thankful to you, ma'am, and we extend our warm and hearty welcome to both of you on behalf of the Institution of Engineers and other participating professional institutions. I also welcome all the participants who are appeared in large in number for the today's presentation, as well as the professional body, office bearers, and various sister institutions which are functioning in Trichy Bell campus. Once again, I extend my warm welcome to all of you and thank you for the given opportunity. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Selvaraj.
Thank you, sir, for an excellent introduction and proceeding over today's program. Thank you so much for arranging two excellent speakers today for the program. We welcome both of you. Thank you, madams, for accepting our invitation to present today. And before proceeding to the introduction of the first speaker, I briefly touch upon what we do at Institute of Engineers Trichy Local Center. Actually, we IEI Trichy Local Center conduct weekly technical program and other programs for the past 3 decades in physical mode. We conducted. After the pandemic, we switched over to this virtual mode. This is our 134th program. We IEI Trichy Local Center plays a role model to conducting weekly programs to more than 10 professional bodies situated in our BHL 3000 acres campus. We have an auditorium with 300 seating capacity. We have like AC lecture hall and 100 seating capacity to conduct our AGM, Engineers Day, and the various seminars, convention, workshop, etc. We have a library with more than 4,000 books housed in the first floor of our building. We have an office, chairman, and secretary room and all. We bring the latest and emerging technologies to our members, students, faculties, industry experts, and public and society at large. Our IEI Trichy Local Center boundaries spread from Ariyalur, Perambur, Karur, Pudukkottai, up to Nagapattinam, except in Tanjavur. We have about more than 2,000 corporate members and 7,000 student members. We regularly conduct weekly lecture programs, workshops, seminars, convention, international conferences in association with the other professional. Today, Indian Society of North-East Testing also joined. Today, they also joined with our program. I now call upon Dr. Titus, our committee member representing electoral division, to introduce Madam Jyoti Kolothur to our audience. Over to Dr. Titus, sir. Titus, sir, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very good evening to one and all gathered here. It's my pleasure to introduce today's chief guest of the function, Ms. Jyoti Kolothur, who is a counseling and a psychologist. I am very happy to introduce today's chief guest. She is going to deliver the session on career planning and the future with the sciences. So with short notice, I am happy to introduce today's chief guest. Madam is a counseling psychologist that loves to listen to the people and understand the problems and counsel them, and fully equipped to conduct the session in person as well as online. Madam has expertise in work-life balance, marital counseling, midlife crisis, mindfulness workshops, stress management, workshops on student issues, effective parenting, and adolescent issues. And also she has a client will be of the following services, like individual and group session on various topics, standard personality and psychometric test report and analysis, and statistics and reports to the organization, non-personal. And Madam has a very good experience in student counselor and psychology consultant at the various schools and organizations. In corporates for employees and women engagement, employee consultations at Kamadevani Jewelry Chennai, and employee consultation at the DHL Global Service Center Chennai, and also conducted workshops at the DHL IT Services Chennai, and also conducted workshops at Tiona Services G, and career assessment workshop for police officer kids Chennai. And under NGOs, Snega Suicide Prevention and Sahodaya Bangalore, and IEI Women's Organization. When comes under the schools for students and parents and teachers, and the Shram Academy in Nulambur, Madurai, and Ainambakam, Sri Bala Vidyalaya Perambur, and also KBJ Kolathur, Muhammad Satan School of Arambakam, and Don Bosco School Kolathur, Vita Matriculation School Alandur, Holy Angels Nagar, Vivekananda Vidyalaya, MKP Nagar, Little Flower, Undratur, Government Corporation Schools in Mogatpur, Nandanam. So Madam has done a very good experience in all these schools and corporate offices. And also she is a volunteer in American Red Cross Northeast chapter since 2001 to 2008. And also a parent volunteer in NPS International Singapore during the year 2011 and 2015. And also a Bassett Elementary Westlake USA during the year 2008 to 2011. And also West Shore Montessori in USA during the year 2005 and 2008. Regarding the education and training, Madam has done a diploma in mental illness from NIM HANS SCARF, and remedial teaching for dyslexic students at the Madras Dyslexic Association, and a CPT certification, and also Master of Science in Psychology from University of Madras. She has done a master's degree in counseling and psychology, and deep in child psychology in USA, AHIO, and also did in mental health and counseling. And she is working with various schools in Chennai. And she has conducted many workshops in corporate levels, and also acted as a volunteer at government schools in various schools in Chennai. And also she has conducted career assessment for the students, and he has conducted more than 200 plus webinars during the pandemic situation. So Madam, today we have a very good eminent speaker for this today's session on career planning and the future with the science. So with this short introduction, I am happy to welcome Madam for this today's session, and also I thank the organizers on behalf of Computer Society of India and IWAS and W India and Indian Institution of IEI Tiruchirappalli chapter. In association with, we are conducting this program. So once again, thanks for the organizer, thanks to Selvaraj sir and all the committee members for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello? Sir?
Selvaraj, Mr. Selvaraj, Madam is calling to ask her to deliver the lecture. Selvaraj,
Thank you very much, sir.
Madam, you proceed.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And I would like to first congratulate the Institution of Engineers for conducting these kind of useful seminars. And I understand it's been happening for 3 decades, right? It's not an easy thing. And I congratulate each one of you behind it. And also during the pandemic, I heard it was being conducted online as a webinar. So first, I would like to congratulate each one of you behind that. And I would like to register my sincere gratitude to Dr. Balasubramaniam sir, the chairman, Lakshmanan sir, joint secretary, Venkateshwaran sir, Dr. Kavin, Dr. Kuppaswamy sir, and TNCCA for this opportunity. And I would like to talk about the topic for today is career planning and a future with the sciences. That's my topic today. And I'm going to also talk about a little bit about career planning also. Am I audible?
Yes, madam,
Yes.
you are audible.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So what is career planning? So I see a lot of students also today. So I wanted to help you understand what career planning is and why is it important, why you need it. Okay. So career planning is to prepare and decide what you want for the future, right? So some ask, is it needed? Is it necessary? It is important because it gives you, that individual the proper direction or the clarity to what, how to choose my career, how to choose my future. Because a lot of kids, in the 11th and 12th are confused, right? So this gives you a clarity. This gives you the clarity in choosing your career. Okay. So when you're choosing the career, we focus on certain things, right? So what are the things we focus on? You have to decide. It's based on your intelligence, your values, audience, can you please mute yourself? Your career is based on your intelligence, your values, your aptitudes, your skills, your personality, your interest, right? So all of this is needed, for you to decide your career, your future, right? As a student, you need to know yourself. You need to know your strengths. You need to know your weaknesses also. You need to know your personality. You need to know what your goal is, right? So only then you can easily figure out what you can, how to pick and choose a career. So for all of these things, this career assessments will help you understand, about yourself. It will help you understand your strengths, your weaknesses. It doesn't stop with that. It also tells you, what kind of personality you are. And for your personality, what is the best, courses to choose and the ones to avoid. For some it is, it's needed, right? So it helps you understand which one to choose, which one not to choose also. So now that you understand, it's a very brief note only I gave you about career counseling. So I will move to the parents' role here. So parents in our country, we play a very, very important role in the decision of the career for the child, right? It's not like other countries where the child decides and the parents support. But here in our country, even today, parents still decide the career for the groups or the course or the job, whatever it is. It's, parents play a very, very important role in influencing the child about the career choices, right? So I would like to talk about a few important, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So there are a few important factors I want to talk to the parents. Okay. These are for the parents. You have to understand, the selection process. You have to understand, and consider these factors while selecting or helping when you're helping your child choose a career. Okay. So what are these essential things? The first one is aptitude, right? Like I told you, aptitude is also very important in choosing the career. the child's personality, the child's strength, the child's weaknesses. You as a parent, definitely you will know, you know what, he is good in this subject, he's not good in that subject. Okay, you still know a little bit, but you need to understand it fully. So this is where the assessments will help them. Okay. The second factor is interest. So, I 20 years back or 40 years back, right? A person would join a company, and most of the time, mostly they would retire in the same company, well, right? Uh, so they would join a company and they would work there and they would grow in that company and they would retire from the same company. But it's not the same now. So if the child is not interested, right? Just imagine how difficult it will become for the child to, they have to spend the entire life working in a field which is not at all interesting to them, which they do not enjoy at all, right? So there you have to look into audience, can you please mute yourself? So you have to, take into consideration their interest also. That is the second factor. And the third factor is the availability of the course, right? The proximity of the college. So if any of you are from Chennai, and if you know Chennai, so, the family lives in OMR and they look into a college which is near Punamalli, right? Which is like about 45, 50 kilometers. They say it's okay, it's only 1.5 hours one way, but just imagine 1.5 hours one way, and almost 3.5 hours he is going to be traveling. It's not a one-day thing. It is, for 4 years or 5 years this child has to do it, right? So you have to take all of this into consideration when you're looking for a college, looking for a course, right? So look, the proximity is so important also. And the next factor is this an informed decision over herd mentality, right? The grade 12, right? That age is so confusing for these kids because it is so easy for the child to just get swayed away, right, by the peer pressure. Even today, when we go into colleges and talk to the third year students, right? I ask them, like, why have you chosen this group? Majority don't know. In a class of 100, only 10% know why they have taken that group, and it is by their choice, right? And they do extremely well. And the next 10% will do it when they are motivated and they have this, okay, they see the friends and they do it, right? That's all. Other than that, all others would say, oh, he joined, I'm also here. My friend took this course, I also took. My family told that this is the best course. My relatives told that if I study this, I would have a job. So this is how many kids tell us. So it's a herd mentality, right? So if it was before 2000, everybody would choose CSE so that they'll get a job in IT, right? But after that, that 2000, the Y2K problem, many just quit IT and and went to ECE without even realizing why they are picking that group, or why they are not picking up CSE, why they are going to ECE. When we didn't know, okay, everyone is going, I will also go, right? So parent should be informed about all the career choices. I'm sure you will come out with the list, right? Or this one, and then you'll have a 5 or 6 list. Know the best, and then you decide for the child, right? So you help the child, let the child decide. Okay. The next factor is the scope, right? So okay, you have done this course, what next? So what is the scope after you doing 3 years or 4 years or 5 years of education? So find out, talk to those professionals who are already in the field, right? If your child is in 12th now, right, after the board exam, they'll have this 2-3 months gap, right? Ask them to go to internships, let them understand what that course is going to be like, or how will I enjoy doing this job, right? So let them explore, let them learn, right? So scope is very important. The last one is remuneration. So nobody wants to work for free, right? So in the beginning, you might say it is okay, go get a job, whatever job, it's okay, right? I will help you. But eventually it will become a priority, right? Nobody wants to work for free, and you need money to have a comfortable life or a satisfied life. So you have to focus on all of these factors before picking up a group, before picking up a career, right? So for parents, the do's I will tell you, and then we'll talk about the don'ts. Okay, so you have to evaluate your child's aptitude, their strength, their weakness, and all of that before giving them the choices. Okay, and help your child in discovering his or her own passion. So many kids come and tell me, ma'am, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, but I don't know what I want to do. right? So they don't know what they really want, right? So you should know what your passion is, and please help a child, discover, or if you already know it, then tell them, hey, you're really good at this, right? So motivate your child in pursuing what his passion is, and inform your child regarding these, okay, all the aspects of career. Sit and discuss with your child, because remember, they're already confused. They're already going through this adolescent issues. Along with this career choices, they are not good at it, right? So they need your help. So help your child understand this work and life. Whatever career they choose, they need to understand how their work and life is going to be, right? So this is why I tell you have to talk to the professionals. Okay, you have decided you want to become a doctor, right? It is okay to talk to a doctor. How is it going to be? Nothing wrong in that. Let them talk, let them discuss, let them understand. Okay, stop your child from falling prey into this peer pressure. My friend is going to that college, that group, so I will also go. That is not going to help your child. That child might be interested. Maybe your child is not interested, right? So you have to help your child understand not to fall prey for all of these things. Again, your child's confidence. See, your many kids come and tell us they are okay to talk to anybody and everybody, discuss about their career, but not their parents. So they have to be confident enough to come to you first, talking about or discussing about the career. Like, I want this, I don't want this, right? So they should be able to tell you, because you're the parents. And, eventually, if you don't know, what to do, then get professional help. If it is needed, then go for the professional help, So we will talk about the don'ts. Am I, if I'm too fast, please let me know. Okay. So we will talk about the don'ts now. So do not, dictate, this is the best. I am telling you, go get into this course, so it will be good for you. So rather than dictating, you have to, discuss with your child, guide your child, taking, don't, inform about all the courses and let your child take the decision, right? So don't burden your child with unrealistic expectations, right? Go do this one, your life is settled, or all of those things. Don't tell if you do not know, right? If you really know it, then that's a different thing. And don't be impatient, because today he will come and tell, what, I think I'll join computer science. Tomorrow he might come and say, oh, you know what, I researched, that's not a good course, I will go something else, I will do this, I will do that. So you have to be extremely patient with your child, because he's going to be confused, and he's going to continuously change till he settles in one group, right? And career scope changes with time. Like I told you, 30 years back, maybe it was like you do an engineering degree, your life is settled. But 20 years back, it was not the same, right? 10 years back, it was not the same. Today, it is not the same. So career scope keeps changing with time. So don't keep telling your ideas. When we were young, it was like that during those days. Yes, it was the same those days, but it is not the same now, right? So don't misguide the child for choosing the career, because there was one parent, when they brought the child to meet for career assessment, and they would call me and tell, somehow put, medicine and give it in that assessment report, so that my child will do medicine. So don't misguide your child in doing any of those things, right? And do not, your child's, if your child has a query, your child has a question, and you're not very sure about that question, it's okay, right? Take your time, do your research, talk to people, and then come up with it. You don't have to, as a parent, you don't have to know everything about every career, every choice, right? So he has questions, okay, you take your time, do the research, and then talk to your child. And don't allow other people, right? So your friends, I'm sure as a parent, you will ask your friends, your relatives, what do you think about this college? What do you think about that college, right? So, but don't let them decide what your child should become. Like, I'm sure everybody will give their opinions, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to pick and choose everything. So rather than that, sit and talk to the child who's actually going to study, okay? So that will be better. So do that, okay? So those are the do's and don'ts of parents for career planning for your child, okay? So now I would like to go in the order of, I'll talk about engineering, and then I will talk about medicine, and then I will talk about the other sciences, okay? Am I audible?
Madam, go ahead, madam.
Yes,
Please go ahead.
yes.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Okay, so see, there are engineering colleges, as you all know. So there are three ways to get into an engineering college, right? So one is the TNEA, that's to the counseling. The other one is the JEE mains, and the other one is all the private entrance exams conducted by their own universities, right? So there are nearly 620 engineering colleges. It's a ton of college, right? There are a lot of engineering colleges in Tamil Nadu. So you see, for TNEA, there is no entrance exam. That's only your 12th board marks. Based on that, you go through the counseling process and you pick and choose the college, right? But for JEE, there are two exams, right? One is the mains. Mains has 1 and 2, paper 1, paper 2, and one is called JEE advanced. Right, so JEE mains, whoever writes, there are lakhs of, close to 15 lakh students from the entire country write it, but the top 2.5 lakh students will be, they are qualified for writing their advanced exam. Okay, but the unfortunate thing I have been noticing is, like, there are only 6% of students from Tamil Nadu who join IIT. And if you see, there is one in your own, Trichy, the NIT is there, but there were only 28 students from Tamil Nadu in 2021 batch. It is very unfortunate, right? Even though there are 50% of the seats allotted for our state, not many are getting into such colleges. But our, most schools and most of the 12th graders do, prepare for this JEE exam and appear for the JEE exams. But why they are not able to, qualify or get into the colleges, it's very unfortunate. But they are still getting so much marks in the board exam, but not clearing the JEE mains, right? So, and the other thing is, many parents tell, oh, I don't want to send him to a hostel. I want him to be home. I don't want him, right? And you also make sure you write all these and other entrance exams, right? Like be it SSN or Shastra or VIT, SRM, Amrita, Ramchandra, all of them have their own entrance exams. And the kids who appear for JEE also write those exams, also go for this. So there is no clarity, right? So you don't have to write that many entrance exams. So you are very, very clear with JEE, go ahead with JEE. Or if you are very sure, you're okay, you know what, I will not send my kid to faraway places, then stick to those entrance exams, write only those entrance exams, clear, and proceed with those topics. Audience, can you please mute yourself?
No, Rajesh, kindly mute the other people. Rajesh, kindly mute.
Okay.
Request participants to mute their mic, please.
So if you are decided to only pick and choose these private universities, right? I'm not saying private universities are bad, right? But if you have decided only to, you usually get admissions, that's how the process is. They will give their admissions way before the counseling starts and all. So if you have decided, then you don't have to go through this process of JEE at all, right? So you decide, all of this comes under planning, right? So you don't have to go through this, that, right? So they just have to focus on their +2 board exams and then prepare for these exams and write and clear it. That is good enough. And there is, some engineering colleges from the last 3 years have started accepting students even if they do not have math as the main subject in 11th and 12th. Okay, Ramchandra is also one of the colleges which they have engineering, and it's okay if you don't have a math, right? So that is one thing. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is, like, see, there were 71,000 seats which were vacant in the engineering colleges, which is, I mean, there are so many seats vacant just in the engineering colleges because, there is a new rule. I don't know if they've implemented it, but the rule, they said they will implement it either this year or next year, that engineering counseling should happen only after medical counseling, because kids who get a seat in medical colleges just leave these engineering seats and go, which goes waste, right? So that's one of the reasons they're planning to move it after the medical counseling. But we do not know if they're going to do it this year. They wanted to do it this year, but we do not know it yet. Okay. And I wanted to talk about the other fancy courses which has come up in the last 8 years, right? So be it, I'm sure you would have heard of this course called mechatronics, right? So when it started, every college had it. A majority of the colleges had it, and many went and joined without even knowing what it is and why it is, right? So after the 4th year, like when we ask, why did you even take this course? They are like, oh no, I do know, ma'am. I thought this was fancy, and it is like, the job scope is really high. So job scope, you have to do analysis before joining, right? 4 years later, is it going to be okay? Mechatronics is an amazing group, but they stopped. Many colleges stopped it also because they didn't know, and many colleges might not like what I'm telling, but they do not have qualified staff also to teach such programs. Mechatronics, if you do masters, it is extremely valuable when you go to Japan, because there they have these bullet trains and all of those things. The job scopes are really high there, but here it's not yet. It will come in the future, but not yet, right? So mechatronics, every college had it, but did they even have a lab? They did not have a lab. Did they have the staff? They did not have the staff, right? So you have to check all of these things before you pick and choose these. There's another course which I saw. It's BE Computer Science, Communication and Management. And I don't know what they will teach in that course. It's BE Computer Science, Communication and Management in one program. And there's one called artificial intelligence and deep learning and robotics. Then automation, data science, cyber security. See, all of these programs are really, really, really good programs for the future. But currently, how good are we? How trained are we? Do we have any, do you have an MOE with any industry? Do you have R&D in your college? So you have to see, as parents and students, you have to go do the research. When they say we have robotics in our college, ask them, do they even have a robot? Do they have a lab to show and teach and train those kids, right? So after doing robotics, just by looking at the textbook and reading, I'm sure you're not, practically you have gained zero knowledge, right? So be careful not to choose. I'm not saying you should not choose them, but don't go by the fancy terminologies. Rather than, okay, you want artificial intelligence, it's well and good, but then do your foundation in computer science and do artificial intelligence as a diploma or as a, after you proceed, once you finish your main course, and then you can take this. Don't just fall into traps into all of these things. Check, and if any college says if they have a robot, a robotics lab, they would be the first ones, to call the parents and show them. But if there are some colleges which says, what, you want it, you take it. If you don't want, you leave. Then, they might not have it. After joining, regretting is no use, right? So before you join, you do all the research, you do all the analysis, and then accept it. So check for, how many, there's one college which had, they said we have, 100% placement, this many placements, right? So they were showing the same student's name in every, see, you're getting 10 jobs for the same student is no use. What about the other kids? What about the average kid? What about the child who got only 60%? Are you going to place everybody in your college, right? So you have to understand, do all of these things. The top 10, even if the college is not going to place, that child will get placed, right? He has the skill. So check for that. And don't, think there are some parents who tell me they take a lot of donation, ma'am, which means the college will be good. Not necessarily, right? So not too much donation doesn't mean it's a good college, right? And don't think that computer related colleges, any course which is related to computer science is a good one for me. Not necessarily. I'm sure you would have seen so many ads, HCL and Infosys have started. They don't even need a BTech or a B engineering anymore. So if you are, +2, that's good enough for us. You come to our, you come to us, we will skill train you however we need it for the 2 years, and then we will get, you can even join BITS Pilani for an engineering, and then you're settled. We will hire you, so which is good, right? So we are following, that's what the Western countries were doing. You study, you work, and then you get your degree also, which is okay. But our country was the one which, like, you'll finish all the studying, and then we will go into a job, right? So that is how we were all these days, but now it is changing. So you want to somehow land into an IT job, you don't need a BE, an engineering degree at all. Okay, so you have to understand that. And don't go for the brands, okay? Or many people are talking about that college, which means it should be a good college. Not necessarily. You go do your research. See, if it's good for me, not necessarily it has to be good for you, right? So you pick, you go, you do the analysis, and then you decide if that is what you want, okay? So that is, I would stop engineering with that, and whatever I told you is for, it's for the general public. If you need anything very specific, you can contact us. We will help you. Okay, so now I would move to NEET and medicine. Am I audible and clear? Can I proceed?
Madam, you are audible, madam, you can proceed.
Okay, so now I'm done. Yes, okay, I'm done with the engineering part of the thing, and then I would talk about a little bit about medicine. Okay, so we all know that you have to, qualify the NEET exam. If you don't qualify NEET exam, no medical seat, right? You have to qualify even if it's a government college seat or a private one deemed. Even if you want to go outside of the country to study, you still have to qualify the NEET exam. Okay, so that is mandatory, no doubt about it. Okay, and you have to start preparing by, see, I see many students who start from 6th standard, which is not needed. Okay, you start from 11th, that is good enough. 11th and 12th is good enough, but focus on your 11th also, because your 60% of the questions will come from 11th and only 40% will come from 12th. So focus on both, but most schools I know will focus on the 12th because it's for board exam also, right? So 11th and 12th is equally important, and take a lot of mock exams, mock tests that will help you for the NEET exam. Okay, and NEET exam, this is for the parent. If your child is going for NEET exam, not like engineering, NEET exam and medical college admission needs a lot of documents, right, from government offices or from whatever you have. So start collecting all the documents. If your child is in 12th and you are deciding to go only into medical field, then start collecting all the documents. They have a list. The list is very, very long. So start collecting all the documents from now only. Okay, so and the order of counseling will be, you would have heard, it's all India quota, and then government seats in private colleges, and then private seats, and then deemed colleges, deemed universities, and there is something called NRI quota, NRI seats, and NRI labs. NRI labs was only introduced last year because usually, a lot of NRI students would come take up the courses here, right? But now it is reducing. They don't want to come here, so people have stopped coming here. So the NRI seats are getting wasted. So what the universities decided, the NMC, why waste medical seats, right? So they have converted it to NRI lapsed seats. What that does mean, it's cheaper than the NRI. NRI fees is very, very expensive, so it will be cheaper than NRI seats, but it will be a little more than the private college fees. So if you have that cutoff, but you're not able to get into that, but you're able to pay that small premium fees, then that's a good option for you. So many will not know that that seat even exists, right? But you have to wait till the end. It will come along with the mop up round, and that's when those seats will be allotted. Okay, so you have to wait for that. And there are only 606 medical colleges in our country, but 92,065 seats. That's all. That's the total number of less than 1 lakh. Okay, but number of students who are appearing, who have registered for this year, it's in July 17th, right? So that there are 18 lakh students who are appearing for that exam. So the competition is really, really tough, right? So we have to, you have to give your best. You have to do your best. And repeaters, many, majority of them repeat, right? It's not like JEE, not many will repeat, but here, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, so repeating the course, repeating the exam once or twice is okay, right? But I see kids who are repeating the exam for like 4th time, 5th time. See, I understand ultimately the goal is to get into a medical college, right? So 4th or 5th time, yes, you will clear, you will qualify, and you will get into one of the medical colleges. But is your goal is just to join a medical seat? Or you have to finish that exam and come out, right? You have to finish 5 years. So you're already spending 4 years here and 5.5 years there. Just think about all of those things, because medical college will definitely be tough, right? It's not like, yeah, okay, I've joined. It won't be like how they show it in movies. Yeah, it is fun, it is cool, right? It definitely will not be like that. It is tough. Each book is subject wise, it will be very less. Don't compare, engineering, I have to study so much. Medicine, it's only 3 subjects, right? But those 3 subjects are in depth and you have to read a lot. You have to spend so much time, right? So this is why I was telling you proximity is so important. They have to sit for at least 4 to 5 hours apart from their college timings, right? So think about all of those things before you take up NEET like the 5th time or the 6th time, okay? So, and you see, once you've registered, if you are a 12th standard parent, then your kid is in 12th, you will know. Every day you will be getting calls, right? So it's like, oh, get into this marketing calls, go abroad and study because it's cheaper. Yes, definitely it is cheaper than studying. With the fees you pay here for 1 year, you can finish the entire course there. But please understand, there is an NMC Gazette last year. Gazette, if it's a law, then nothing can be changed, right? So the Gazette says the foreign medical degrees are not valid in our country anymore. So before last year, how they were doing it, they will go study 4 years, come back to our country, pay some amount to the colleges or hospitals. They will do their internship and then they will do their FMGE and then get their medical degree, right? But now NMC is very, very clear. You study there, then you have to do your internship there only. But you being an Indian citizen, if you're going to any of those countries, be it Philippines or Malaysia or Ukraine might not call now because of the war and all, but all of these countries, those degrees are not valid in our country from last year. Okay, so please be aware of all these people, these agents who will call you, study in Philippines. That rule doesn't matter. We will take care. It do not fall for such traps. These agents who call you will not even know where Philippines is. So please remember, it is a gazette, it is a law, it cannot be changed. And wherever the countries which is recognized in our country, they will not come and advertise to you at all. Be it US or UK or Australia, all these countries, those degrees are valid in our country, but it will take at least 12 years in the US for you to get a medical degree. Okay, so that's why they will not come and advertise here, but those countries are valid. Okay, so. And again, like if not medicine, right? I don't want medicine. I'm not able to do medicine. I did not qualify. There are a ton of allied health sciences. Okay, so we will move to the allied health sciences now. So I did engineering and I did. Again, I'm telling you, this is general for all of you. But if you want very specific, ma'am, I got this marks, but which college can I apply for? Will I get into the, choice filling is so important, right? So because kids who have gotten lower marks than you would easily get it because of the choice filling, because that college had the seat and they got it. So you have to do the choice filling in the right way. Okay. So that is super duper important. And we will talk about that also if you need it later on. And there are some kids who will tell me, I don't want engineering. I don't want medicine. If you are such kid, because I don't want engineering. I don't want medicine and engineering and all. You have to see there is one college in Chennai, just computer science department alone. They have 1,600 students. Just imagine 4 years later, all these kids are going to graduate from just one college, and they have 4 branches. Remember each 1,600 seats. How will they get a job? Right, so there are lakhs of students coming out with. That's the reason for the job is not there available for all of them coming off the college. Okay, so now we will talk about no engineering, no medicine. Then you can if you are very creative, you like this elevation and process, you can do BArch. BArch, again, architecture, that's a 5-year degree program. Okay, so it's not 4 years, and you can get into architecture with three ways. One, for the first entrance is again through JEE. I told you, right? Paper mains will have paper 1 and paper 2. You should not write paper 1 here, you should write paper 2 exam here. Okay, so if you write paper 2 and clear it, you can get into these NITs and CFTIs. Those colleges you can get into to do architecture. Okay, and the other one is, no, I want to do it only in IIT. It's amazing, you can do it in IIT, but the process is a little longer. Okay, because JEE, again, here you won't do part 1, part 2, you will do part 1 and then go to clear it, go to do the advanced, clear it, and then you have one more exam only for architecture, which is called the AAP, which is Architecture Aptitude Test. So you have to take 3 exams if you want to join IIT. Okay, and IIT also it's not there everywhere. So I think only 2 colleges. One is Kharagpur and one is Roorkee. These are the only 2 colleges which has it. So that's one thing. And the other one is the normal one, which is the NATA, the National Aptitude Test for Architecture, which happens twice a year, one in April and one in July. So that is another way you can get into architecture. So you like, oh, this is one good thing I want. No, I don't want engineering and that medicine. Then this is also a good program. So the other programs. Anyone talking, or can I proceed? Okay, I'll proceed. So, next course, the next one I would like to talk about is, if you are really passionate into getting into, the defense sector, right? I want to, serve my nation. I want to be part of the defense sector. I want to be in the army. Then this is again one of the, it is very prestigious, right? You working in the army or in the defense field. So any science stream, you have any science stream, you can take up the exam and you can, their entrance is very similar to JEE, but it is not that tough actually. The level is a little lower than JEE exams. Okay, so you have to do the NDA, the National Defense Academy. You have to, but they have a little more criteria, right? Their physical requirements, be your height, your weight, and your eye checkup, and all of that is, will come under that. So if you fit into all of those things, you can perfectly get into the defense sector. No, I don't want that. Then there is other things called. So I'm not talking about these general, the BSc physics, chemistry, math, nutrition. I'm not talking about all of these courses. I'm talking about ones which you might not know. Okay, so those are the only courses I'm talking about. So this and the BSc, and if you want to get into this ONGC or DO, those kind of jobs. So how do you do it? A regular BSc, and then after your MSc, you write your GATE. See, there's one other option. If you're not able to get into IIT through the JEE exams, this is another opportunity. After your MSc, you can write an exam called JAM, JAMM exam, which is the Joint Admission for Masters. If you get a good rank there, you can do your MSc in IIT, okay, which is very, very, very good, and you can get into, recruited easily in these oil companies or any petroleum industries and all of those things. You just need to do a BSc and MSc, okay? And then it's the web designing and web developer, right? So it is an IT, BSc IT or BSc computer science, your BCAs and MCAs. And see, like I told you, you don't need a BTech or BE to join the a computer related field. Your BSc computer science is more than enough, and then do your MCA, it's good enough, right? But I don't want computer related at all. I want medical related, but I did not qualify for NEET. But something I want to be in the hospital related industry only, or patient related industry only. So there are many courses here. Okay, so now you can even do. See, there are courses you want to, be in a medical college or a hospital also. You can do your MSc anatomy, you can do your clinical biochemistry, you can do your pathology in MSc, right? And still become an associate professor for the first and second year medical college students. Okay, you don't need a PhD like other universities, but here you can, with an MSc, you can take up such jobs. Okay, and there is this cardiovascular technology or forensic science, clinical research, and medical chemistry, genetics, pharmacology, and okay, you are like, I'm okay with the special education and all kids. So audio and speech therapy is another amazing booming field. If you like it, you can pick and choose that. And language pathology, right? These are the best alternative for medical course students. I want to be in the medical industry, but I do not want to do medicine. So these are the courses. I've not given, the list is so vast, right? So I'm only giving you a few of the things, just for general public, and you want very, very specific ones, contact NCCA. We are here to help and guide you. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful for you. So in the short period, I think I've given you, a gist of everything. Sir?
Selvaraj.
Yes, madam.
Madam completed her presentation. If any queries and all, they let them ask at the
queries, if you want to ask now, or you can wait till Padma ma'am finishes, and then we can.
Better, madam. The other madam also let them complete your presentation. We will keep the question answer at the end, madam.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
Now we shall
Selvaraj,
Should I start, sir?
you are- Well,
Yes,
we arrange to introduce our
yes.
Padma madam and let her proceed.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's what. So Dilip Kumar Singh, and I call upon Dilip Kumar Singh to introduce Secretary Indian Society of Non-District to introduce second speaker, Dr. Padma Anil Kumar. Over to Dilip Kumar Singh, please, sir. Please introduce the second speaker. Yeah.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Myself Dilip Kumar Singh. I am Secretary I-CNT 3C chapter. I'll be going to introduce Padma ma'am. So, the Padma ma'am is the founder and director of Sitara Chennai, and she has trained a professional counselor with over 30 years of experience in the educational, adolescent, and child and career counseling. She had held important posts in the establishing and running the entire counseling services of some very reputed international schools in India. And she is also trained by international professional in the modern theoretical pedagogical theories. And she is the exponent of TA and the arts integrated learning programs. She is also a trained teacher of higher level psychology and TOK for the international baccalaureate diploma course and a UGC NET scholar for the master level teaching. She has been on the committee to plan and structure the psychology curriculum of the senior secondary school. Am I audible? No?
Yeah, you are audible. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
And she is teaching towards the award of the IB diploma and the ISC Board of India. Ma'am is also heading the institution called Sitara, that is a center of self-discovery that focuses on counseling and outreach training modules for a student of all the ages. And also at Sitara, she is running a certificate program in art therapy, career counseling, organizational counseling, and special education, and so on. Then ma'am is also conducting a regular workshop on life skills and psychological reviews, which are being held basically to aim to share the hands-on experience to the master students of psychology. So this is with this few highlights. I'll be introducing ma'am Padma Anil Kumar ma'am. And with this, I am handing over session to ma'am.
Thank you, Engineer Singh, for introducing a nice introduction of the speaker. Good evening, madam. Welcome, madam. Good evening. Welcome. And the topic, madam, is going to tell you humanities. The topic is humanities, arts, and other next generation careers. As already introduced by our Dilip Kumar Singh, our Secretary Institute of Non-District. She is the founder director, Mr. Sitara Chennai. So with this thing, I call upon madam for your presentation. Welcome, madam. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I hope everybody can hear me. Just tell me
Yeah,
yes or no. Yeah. The thumbs up will do. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, you are able to hear, madam. Please.
Okay, sir. Okay, so today's topic, we're talking about basically next gen professions. So first of all, the next gen professions requires all of you to show your faces out, meaning what? You have to be out there and brave enough to face the future generation. So I request whoever can put on their videos to put it on so that I will be motivated to talk to you about the next gen professions. I hope I'm not talking to robots already. So those who can put on the videos, I request you to kindly put on the videos and then we can start. Okay? Okay. So what are next gen professions? What are next gen professions? So our class 12 student who are, I can see a lot of 12E, 12B, 11A, etc., etc. All you brave little kids. Sometimes you wonder whether your teachers know enough. You wonder whether what they're teaching now will be applied tomorrow, right? So this topic, what I'm going to do right now is to ask that question right now with you. Sometimes you wonder, what is this? This is some theory. Will it be of any use? What is this old people going to tell us? All things have changed. They haven't even seen a computer properly, right? So that's what it is. Next gen professions. Can we predict them now? can we actually study what we are studying right now? Is that enough to actually take on a job 10 years later or 15 years later? That is the question I'm trying to answer. Okay, so listen very carefully. What is next gen? Next gen is that you will have to have a job based on information of the past, but something that will hold you on for the next 30 years. That is, you'll have to get a job where they'll expect you to work for another 20, 30, 40 years. But your information is still from a past time. That is a time right now, right? So what are you studying right now and what can you use it for in the future? That is what the next gen professions are requiring you to do. So what are these next gen professions? How will you prepare for them? How will you outdo your parents or your teachers and everybody else? And what extra information and how will you get that extra information from people other than who have already finished their education, right? That's what is next gen education. So why are we talking about it? Because technology is changing by every 3 months. There is a new updated version. Every 15 days, your phone needs an updation, right? So when your phone requires an updation, what is happening? Technology is changing. And will we actually be able to cope with it? So who is murmuring? You can't hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Guna Subramaniam? Can you hear me? Just show a thumbs up and I'll know whether you can hear me. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So what's happening is that we need to understand that social media and internet are constantly making changes dynamically in the people's mind, and it's converting thought processes and the way people think. So when we're thinking differently, do we need different inputs? Like say, for example, yesterday when surf was to tell new improved surf, how long will that surf be new improved? It will have to change, and how often will it have to change? So the new student who's coming up with the old idea, how will they change it? How will they get new ideas? That is what we are going to discuss. So basically, next gen professions are divided into 4 categories. Okay, one is the technological aspects. The second is science-based, like ma'am just discussed with you. What are the science-based next generation careers? Commerce-based next generation careers, and non-tech based, that is non-tech, completely not touching technology at all. Are they such careers that will actually take you forward and make you absolutely profitably employed? That is what we are going to look at. So when we talk about tech-based, are we talking about engineering? Not necessarily. We're talking, like ma'am said, science included, technology based. So your BCAs, your MCAs, your BSc, computer science, etc., etc. All of them will qualify for technological based studies. But also remember that a lot of commerce based subjects like your CA, the related subjects related to finance, all of them are using technology in a big way. So they also will come under that category when we say technologically based. So data analysis, data scientists are constantly going to use and interpret and understand technology-based aspects, or the applications that require to explain that data will be used. So I think I'm using a lot of big words and our students may not understand. So let me just go very simple. Okay, for each of you class 12 students, look at your subjects. You are either doing a science-based subject or you're doing a commerce-based subject, or some of us, lucky ones, who can do easier subjects like humanities. Truthfully, humanities is not easy, and we'll come to that later. So you may be doing science, you may be doing commerce, or you may be doing humanities. That's the usual division in class 11 and 12, right? So if in class 11 and 12, you're doing combinations of this. The science, technology, engineering, and medicine are called STEM, S-T-E-M. And those at the basic level is using the science-based subjects like physics, chemistry, and biology. Okay. Now, the next gen subject that is going to come in. Thank you, sir, for muting yourself. Please mute yourselves, everybody. So the next set of subjects other than physics, chemistry, and biology, the science would be environmental science. Okay, environmental science. That too will be considered as a science subject. And it is a next gen subject because every subject, meaning an architect, an engineer, a civil engineer, a mechanical engineer, everybody is going to have to understand the aspect of including the environment or saving the environment or controlling, like waste management. Such topics that are related to environmental science is going to be very, very crucial for all the science-based subjects. So include into your understanding whether you like environmental science along with your sciences, because that's one way that is going to go with regard to next gen. Another aspect of the technological aspect is artificial intelligence, meaning what? So every company, say Swiggy or Zomato, all of them are putting ideas into our head. The other day, when I was just talking about some new car that I wanted to buy, and Google, I think, overheard, Mark Zuckerberg just overheard me and started pumping in my phone a lot of car-based subjects, right? They're really, really overhearing everything we talk. What is that? Artificial intelligence, where he is able to get into our minds and operate our minds in some way or the other. How is he doing? What is he doing? What is Google doing? If Google is a man, I'm just guessing. How is he interfering with our lives? That's artificial intelligence, where many aspects of our thinking is being influenced by outside agencies. And which will that be? That is the future. So marketing, science is all related to sales and marketing. All that will become completely useful in the next generation. So I repeat, where science is there, what we are studying now is the base, but it will include environmental science, and that will become a next gen subject, okay, for all the sciences. Similarly, when you're looking at technology and the development of an app or development of a software or development of a hardware different from what you already have, you have to look into the aspect of artificial intelligence. So the machinery itself is going to be completely modified in order to include the thinking processes of a machine. So for example, like we said about Google, supposing you're developing an app or a software or whatever, you must realize that they will have to have sophisticated technology-based equipment, which is going to fit into social media, which is going to fit into all the proper digital aspects that is happening right now. So how can you advance that? What more can it do? That's what will become one aspect of the future. So big data analytics, meaning every field. Now, those who are going into economics or going into any of the other sociology, even those who are going to anthropology, all of them are going to have to break down data and look at the bigger data and see how it can be. So where will you use that? You will have to put it through technology. So even if you're studying economics, even if you're studying sociology, anthropology, etc., you will have to include technology into them. And then only will you be able to continue with your subject in the next generation. Okay, no need to say about cybersecurity. With the minimum that we have right now, there's enough of hacking, right? So now we're going to have much more hacking because there'll be many more to hack and many more different areas where we will have to. So cybersecurity is going to be very, very ethically, very, very important, and very, very important for any kind of job or any kind of technology that we are developing. So ethical hacking, then robotic engineers. Ma'am was talking about robotics and saying that many colleges do not seem to have the infrastructure or do not seem to have the appropriate faculty to talk or work on it. Yes, that's a field where they will have to spruce up, because in the future, now itself, we have somebody, instead of our local servant maid who comes to sweep and swap, we have a robotic machine that comes and cleans our rooms, right? So now slowly, slowly, everything is going to be taken over. So it's going to be happening in a slow phase. In India, much, much less, means less faster than it is abroad. Abroad, it's going to happen a lot more. But your subject content, your ability to study a new subject should include these aspects, and that will prepare you for the next generation. So like ma'am said, mechatronics, your fast-paced cars, your many aspects of mechanics, electronics, and computing together, trying to put things into the fast pace. Another area that is going to grow is your aeronautical engineering. Okay, and then when you look at the field of management, that is where you're talking about retail management, which became a big hub about 20 years ago. Now it is blockchain developing. And that is completely based on the operations design of any aspect of analyzing how things will be sold in the future and how it will be marketed in the future. Then, of course, cloud computing, and more than anything else, digital marketing. So graphic designers, all of you will be required to go beyond just that poster, just that Canva that most of us are using. You've got to go beyond that and actually be able to design for the many other apps and many other software that's going to be developed for very many other things. And you'll have to design, you'll have to create, and publish also online in many ways. So a graphic designer who says, I know this, I know that, maybe you have to update your game with regard to the many languages, the many software that you have already know, or you will have to improve upon. Finally, not at all important sometimes we may say, but remember one thing, next gen profession means, what does it mean? Yes, technology improvement, yes. That will never, it will constantly be evolving. The next thing would be human relations related, and that is the humanities. Where there is the requirement of an interaction with the human being, that is next gen for sure. So psychology is probably only going to grow. It cannot be, how much of a stigma you have, how much ever people think that a psychologist is only for mad people, or they're going to think that they're going to read our minds, or it's some mumbo jumbo. It's not all that. Please understand that psychology will only have more and more scope in the future, because it's talking about interactions with human beings. Psychology of economics, psychology of engineering, psychology of every aspect. Today, we are always talking about what goes in the mind of a person who does something. So whether it is medicine, whether it is engineering, whether people are understanding what happens to the individual and his brain in order to develop that. So what are we talking about? If you need to take a decision, if you need to interact with another human being, then those subjects will continue to be extremely important for the next generation, because human beings are the ones who are going to face that. So any interactive, now when we say interactive, what are we talking about? We are talking about any aspect of human relations. So entertainment field, we talked about media. Media, really, why boring? We know this, this is already there. I don't want to come in front of the camera. Those are not just media aspects. Even your engineering is going to be related to media, because that's where you will be applying your engineering. If you do management, you'll have to do media management, because every time that a particular program or a plan that you have for an engineering, let's say a car is developed, for that car to be marketed, for that car to be to reach out to the consumer, you'll have to think from the point of view of whether people, what kind of people will buy it, could it be profitable? So when you're looking at your P&L, you will have to, P&L is what? Profit and loss statement. When you're looking at your P&L, you'll have to look at whether how many people will take to this, how many people will accept this, and how long will people enjoy this particular kind of aspect. So be it entertainment, be it leisure, these are all human interactive processes, and these will not lose focus. So another most important aspect in the next gen will be education, but education again needs updation. So if you are studying something and you think, oh, I've learned physics, I can teach physics in the future. Yes, you can teach, but for sure, every teacher, every college professor, everybody will have to keep updating. So the rules about updating will change, but the subject content that you're learning now will become the foundation for you to up your game, for you to learn more, for you to actually improve and become correct for the future. Okay. Now, pharmaceuticals, meaning medicine related, related to your vaccines, your medicines, your all those aspects that ma'am talked about is not going to lose focus, is not going to be outdated, etc., because diseases, new diseases come, the foundations will help you to research into them and actually go about developing that in a particular way. Okay, so drug designing is one, biopharmaceuticals, meaning what? All the biological, people are moving into organic aspects and completely homegrown aspects and, going natural. I think people are realizing the importance of using the environment in its purest form. So I told you about environmental science. In every field, this environment is going to interfere, meaning it's going to come in the form of organic development of things. And that's one thing that will come up. So along with those aspects, the sciences, you'll see genetics also, which is very important. And that is also going to be next gen. Now let's look at commerce based. When you say commerce based, it is, what are the subjects you do in commerce? You do accounts. Accounts will be completely taken over by the computer. Yes, it will. Okay. Commerce, economics, and accounts. These are the three subjects you do when you do a commerce group. Economics, a lot of the strategies behind economics are the fundamentals of economics. Okay. But when you analyze it, when you're trying to understand a society based on the economies, that can be done by a computer. But you will have to strategize that. You will have to fix it, meaning you will have to see the problem, and then only can you understand whether a particular theory can be applied to that. For that, you need a human being. So even though technology may take up a big part of your commerce-based subject content, there will have to be human beings in order to problem solve. So you, while you study your economics, understand that all the theories, all the commerce theories, all of it is the foundation. Okay. What you must learn is the skill to predict, skill to expand information, to analyze information, to strategize information. So while you're studying, be sure you know the theory, but you know the application more. You know how to apply it better. And that is what you'll have to work with regard to economics and commerce. Similarly, accounts. It's fine that there will be a computer program that will help you to probably sort out all your accounts, but you will have to decide the problems in your industry, problems in different industries, and what to match up with what, or whether you actually have to use a particular kind of a data table or something else. So you'll only have to take a decision on that. So you need to know accounts. You need to know it, understand it, and be able to apply it. But maybe you can use a computer to do it manually, or to do it actually, do it appropriately. You don't have to probably know that particular part of it. Like, just like how the calculator came in and people stopped learning multiplication, like that, right? So like that, you will have this computer to help you out, but you have to know the base of it. So 11, 12 accounts, 11, 12 economics, 11, 12 commerce is the foundation. There will be many more developments in the future, but you have to know the base for it all. Okay. So I spoke about psychologists. They are non-tech. And similarly, fitness professionals, something to do with your physique, that will again be non-tech. Your dietitian, your environmental engineer, the event managers, wedding photographers, all of them will make the things that you need for in the future. So where I have just told you all those subjects, what does it do to you, and what are you going to do in class 11 and 12? And what do parents actually have to understand about? So I'll just put that very, very simply and clearly for all of you so that you understand what's happening. Okay. So in class 11 and 12, understand your child's capability and understand which subjects they're going to take. If they take science, if they take commerce, in some schools they offer humanities. All schools don't offer humanities. But as a prerequisite, the degree course in most humanities program do not expect you to have that particular subject in 11 and 12. So let's say your daughter wants to do English. She can do English because she had it in 11 and 12. But can she do history without doing it in 11 and 12? Yes. Can she do sociology without having it in 11 and 12? Yes. What is the preference and how will you choose that preference? That is what parents have to understand. If your child really wanted to do medicine, but did not make the cutoff, did not join that, understand why that cutoff was very difficult. Is it biology or is it chemistry that's a problem for them? Where did they drop their marks? Or is it because the overall percentage was not good? Or whichever part of the needs that you were doing, which was your weak areas? If you can assess that, you will realize the strength of your child. Let me tell you that most of the class 11, 12 subjects and the marks that you get clearly applies to one skill, which is rote learning, learning by heart, learning from a textbook and writing. Now, for a career in the future, not always will you be able to grow if you're only textbook. If you're going to study a textbook and you're able to make that, not all through life you can do that. You have to use other skills. So what are these other skills? And how will you develop that? Only then can you be a leader in whichever field you are growing into. So let's say you are doing the science subjects. What does the science subjects give you? So most papers, most question papers and most textbooks have a certain part, which is the theory, okay? The theory part of it is called the knowledge, okay? The second part that's important after knowledge is understanding, and the third is application, okay? Please try and understand what is your child good at and better at. Are they able to apply information easily? When they are able to apply information, it means that they are capable of future new things happening to them, of the future to apply new things and to develop further. If your child is very bookish and is very good at that, realize that they should go into a field where the knowledge is what will be tested, and the knowledge alone, just by repeating the knowledge or by informing that particular knowledge, they will, which is that subject. So subjects like history, that is like, for example, law, very strangely, nobody understands that. But the skill in law is to read old information, to read existing theory, existing information, existing law, and apply it in the present scenario. Okay, so a person who's able to quote from the past, a person who is able to understand what's happening in the past and how it has happened, that person will be more successful in subjects like law. So that skill the child needs, because please, it's not about arguments. I have heard many parents saying, my child argues very well, argues all the time, and that's why I want to send him for law. You know, to ultimately argue in law, it will take you 8 or 10 years of actually working under a lawyer. And what does he do while he's working under a lawyer? All he has to do is not argue, keep quiet, and actually read existing past law and rewrite it and explain it and use that as the basis for the chief lawyer's arguments. So please do not just look at the flowery aspect of a well-settled profession and read into what you have to do now. What you have to do now is simply, because a lot of research has gone into the subjects that colleges choose. Okay, so when, say for example, we do not have a super specialization beyond, we have biochemistry in BSc, we have BSc biochemistry. We have, but then we do not have nanotronics. We do, and that is a master's program. So understand that what is the base for the future. So I want to go to NASA, if that's a child's dream, or I want to do astrophysics. Is it there in bachelor's? No. It is one small chapter in 11 and 12 for some, not for all. So what happens? Where is astrophysics? What is it? It doesn't come up. It's one part of the chapters while you're studying physics. It's not the main subject. So what you're preparing for is very, very basic. So in the future, as a next gen profession, whether it's the sciences, whether it is the humanities, whether it is media, understand the route to which you have to go. So I want to become a news reader. Should I learn English? Should I be able to go into English literature and then be able to go to become a news reader? No, not at all. What you need to know is probably economics. What you need to know is probably political science. That is the content that you require. And the skill is the language you speak. And very, very truthfully, to become a news reader, you don't need to know the news. The news is given to you. It's about you and the way you read. So it's more about how you read and how good you are at reading, or how you modulate your voice, or how presentable you are. So understand, I'm not saying that you should do this or that. I'm just saying that every parent out here and every student out here, understand what is the base degree, what are the skills required for it, and if there is a set of skills, how can I develop that? And when do I actually embark into that particular career? So it is, now the topic reads humanities. So what are humanities? Humanities is, economics is a humanities subject actually. Okay, so if you are doing the commerce subjects and you move into economics separately, it becomes a humanities subject. Psychology, sociology, social anthropology, all of these are humanities subjects. Okay, but also to an extent, the hospitality services, your catering and the others could also fall into something closely related to humanities. That is, your base degree could be something in humanities, and then you could move into hospital administration or hotel administration as an administrative aspects. Otherwise, catering will become a science. Like dietetics becomes a science. They are not falling into humanities. But if you do something in biology and then move into dietetics, that's also a route you can take. So many students, like say, for example, the modern everybody wants to do is sportsman. I'm a cricketer. I can play football. I play very well football. I want to do sports management. I want to go into sports psychology. You do not have it straight away in bachelor's. You have to do a bachelor's in related subjects, and then you will become better when you go into the master's. So I think we've crossed a lot of time. It's become 6:50 already. So I'm going to quickly wind up and then open it out for questions, and please ask questions. So what I just repeat what I've told you so far. What are next gen professions? How is it with regard to humanities? How is it regards to media? And how is it regards to any other art-based subject? So always understand what all professions are possible in the future is related to human beings and their entertainment and their education. So those will definitely stay for next gen for sure. Any subject that has an updation of technology will stay for lifetime. And if you can update and if you can constantly work on the technology and its updation, then you are a wanted person. You're definitely wanted to do things more and more and better. Okay. So if it's not technical, if it's not the humanities, if it's not media, then what? Art-based subjects, where you're talking about art skills, your creativity, your relevant aesthetic sense, all that. Like say, for example, interior design, all these will not go out of fashion. It will remain there because people need to live and they need things related to their lifestyle. So anything related to human beings, anything related will continue. But technology, when you say, then of course, what ma'am told you about, you can go into the BSc computer science and how to develop apps, all that will definitely continue. Okay, so that's the brief of the next gen professions. But how do I choose these next gen professions? How will I be prepared? Listen to me very carefully. First of all, learn how to get knowledge. So is Wikipedia the source of all knowledge? Not really. There are better methods, reliable methods, valid methods of getting knowledge. So get knowledge in your related field. Then get skills. Skills is using this knowledge. How can I up my game? How can I actually apply information? How can I improve on the existing situation? That is skill. Okay, being able to use that particular knowledge and apply it would become the skill. So you have knowledge and you have skill. And then what you need is clear-cut goals and planning. So goal and planning, when you say goal, what is it? Set your goals as 3 years, 4 years, 5 years plans, and be very clear how you will achieve constantly a synthesis of knowledge. That is, for example, if I'm going for economics, along with my economics, what is the computer course I need to learn? What technology should I update myself in? All subjects in today's world requires you to set goals alongside technology. Do not say, I don't like computers, I'll only go to college and come back. Don't do that. Please update and keep yourself completely in pace with the technology that's advancing in your related subject. Okay, so set your goals such that, in fact, the new rule has come that you can do 2 degrees simultaneously. You can do 2 full-time degrees, you can do 1 full-time and 1 part-time. It's very difficult. It's not easy. It's not, I mean, people can put rules, but it's going to be really difficult to do 2 degrees. So how will you do it? Where will you do it? How can you do it? You'll have to plan that. Meaning, that's why I said, set your goal as to how you want to actually achieve certain goals, certain degrees, certain qualifications that are appropriate for your big goal in the future. Okay, so supposing I say I want to become a management graduate, is it okay to do BBA and then do MBA? Is that enough? Or should I do economics and go for MBA? Or should I do engineering and going for MBA? So all your plans have to be, so set your goals, okay, and plan towards it realistically. While you're planning, remember that you have to always be ready for change in that subject. So supposing suddenly that subject is dropped or somebody adds something else to it, understand that a new subject, like ma'am said, may not, the college may not be ready for it. So look for the experts in the field and go for training. The future, the next gen professions are about whether you are better than the others in some way or the other. How will you do that? Apprenticeship or internships or actually working on the job, that is going to be the future. So even if you know something, you have to know to apply it. And let me tell you that nothing is going to work if you cannot communicate your knowledge to anybody. So your communication skill, not just in writing exams and getting top marks, but in also interacting with people, explaining things, learning to explain how that particular thing works is more important than just knowing how it works. Because if you know how to work, somebody will buy it off you and explain it in a flowery language and they will make more money. So just you creating may not be enough. You must learn how to express yourself and how to actually sell that particular product out into the world. So while you're studying, while you're doing your BSc, college is usually 4 to 6 hours. You have still another 6 hours that you can use valid way, in a way that will up the game. So the future next gen professions are what we don't know right now about, but we know, what we definitely know is the base is here. And you have to constantly up your game. You have to constantly update technology and your skills. And the skills will include communication skills, maybe a language. Many of us speak a particular language. When they speak Tamil, they speak like anglicized Tamil. And the others, what do? When they speak English, they speak like they're speaking Tamil. It's okay not to speak the language correctly if it's not required in your future. But will it be required? It's always better to know something very well. So probably learning a foreign language, if you think that you want to work with the cars, then which companies, which language will you learn? Maybe German, maybe French, maybe Japanese, because that's probably the future. Because I know many students who learn Japanese and have landed up themselves into very good companies where they require to know Japanese in order to deal with the manufacturers themselves. Like that, you will be able to better than your immediate bosses because they are not able to speak the language. So learning a language or learning a skill extra will only help you for the future. So 6 hours in college and 6 more hours into something that will make you skilled. Maybe internships, like I said. Identify, work on the job, do small jobs, do big jobs, but do the job and realize what it actually is in the field to use your knowledge. So using knowledge practically is what we would appeal for next gen professions, and you will be absolutely successful if you do that for yourself. Okay, so it's now 7 o'clock. I'm not sure how much more time we have, but if you have any question, please feel free to contact us at TNCCA, that is the Tamil Nadu Career Counseling Association. The details can be shared at any point of time. And please contact, there are a whole lot of career counselors who can support you and help you out in every which way. You can contact us individually, you can contact us as a group. It is a group of counselors who absolutely know their jobs very well, And there are experts who can completely help you and mark you with their assessments and everything else and help you, guide you towards a very, very profitable future. Wishing each and every youngster out here a wonderful, amazing future. I'd like to end. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, all of you who are listening patiently. Now is the time for you to ask questions. Thank you, everybody. Sir, have we lost you? Any questions, anybody? You can put the
It was a
question.
wonderful talk by both of you. Really enjoyed your talk. Really given a roadmap to all our youngsters, young people. Really, it was nice. The forum is open for questions. Participants can ask questions.
Yeah, you can put questions into the chat box also. We can read it and then
provide your contact details in chat box also, sir, madam. So the people can contact you for any further guidance. That's all.
Sure. Jyoti, would you like to do that? Can you just add?
Yeah.
So everybody, you can put your questions in the chat box. We can read the questions and see who can answer it. That's one way we can do it. Or if you want to contact us, you can contact us through the Tamil Nadu Career Counseling Association. We will soon be launching our website and other things where you can contact us. But otherwise, also Jyoti ma'am is going to put in the details that she has, and you can contact us on that. Okay, so it will be in the chat box. Any questions, anybody? Did we put you all to sleep?
Yeah, everybody's thank you. But the parents are almost majority of the parents, they ask for only engineering, medicine, like that. You actually, both of you told about other careers and all. You can give some awareness about it. Because everybody engineering or doctor. That's only talk going on everywhere.
Yeah. So engineering and medicine, Jyoti ma'am, would you like to answer specifically? What about engineering and medicine? I think she spoke about everything. So if you have any specific question about engineering, could you specify a question? Anybody about engineering or medicine? If you can put a specific aspect, please do feel free to talk about it. Please ask.
Yeah, participants, you can ask the experts.
We were very, very clear, or we were not clear at all, but ma'am. So that's the only time they will not.
I know they're probably totally confused. Yeah. Did we confuse you? Okay, at least put good comments about us and tell us that we were clear. Because I'm not sure whether we were clear or unclear. Hello, everybody. At least tell us if you're clear or unclear. I can see a lot of people left the group. I mean, we were 98 at one point and 10 people have dropped out. So
it reached 100.
I know it did reach 100. Yes, yes. Thank you, Mr. Jnana Subramaniam, for saying that we were good. Anybody else who wants to ask questions? It'll help us to be a little bit more clear if you want that. Yes, Mr. Swami, I agree. Please come forward and with your questions and doubts. Everybody. Really gain more knowledge. Thank you, Vidya Lakshmi. Thank you for the comment. More comments, please.
Yes, ma'am. It's a very good session.
Thank you.
I have joined in between only, but I have enjoyed all your talks and everything and your suggestions also. Yes, it is the right time for the youth to learn 2 simultaneous degrees at a time. They should make some time management, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful session. And you have told me that we can contact you for career guidance or something. Yes. Individual, for a group, we have to contact.
Oh, whatever you want. We've got counselors all over the place, all over South India. We can do it for both group as well as for individuals. We put our numbers on the group. Ma'am has put the numbers on the group. If you can
yes, I have seen. Yes, I have noted that number.
We can do both. We can do both. And not only us, there are people like supposing you're not in the city, you're not in Chennai also, there are people whom we can definitely recommend who can come and do it for you also. Ours is an organization called Tamil Nadu Career Counseling Association. We're almost about 30-40 of us who are around and we are definitely available for counseling. Don't worry about that. You can tell us your queries in this number and we can put it on to the budget.
Yes. Thank you.
Most
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you, Amasi Mani. Thank you, Prasanna. Thank you, Tarun Kumar. I think we'll wind up. Everybody is thank you, Tyagarajan sir. Thank you, IEI TLC. I think that's the directors. I don't know the names, so I'm just reading off from here. Thank you so much for your comments. If you need any more information, you may ask. Otherwise, we can just wind up. Dhruva Rati, thank you. You're most welcome. Amasi Mani, thank you. Sir, shall we wind up then? I don't think there is one more question.
Vote of thanks, sir. Just wait for a few minutes. Sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Program next week, program announcement, vote of thanks, sir. Two agendas are pending. Okay, thank you everybody for actually participating and giving the this feedback and appreciation. Thank you so much. I thank both the madams that wonderfully talk about future career for the youngsters. Thank you so much. Now we call upon one of the students I am calling on to give feedback. That is Ms. Elena Joel from Mrs. Kumari Arivel. I call upon her to give a feedback. Elena Joel, please come forward. Yeah. Thank you, please.
Yes, sir. A warm and pleasant good evening to everyone present here. This is Elena Joel, an young scientist of Kumari Arivel Peravai, and I'm here to say the feedback of today's session, which was conducted by the Institution of Engineers, Tiruchirappalli Local Center. So first we had the greetings by Selvaraj sir, who first started up the meet, followed by we had a small introduction by Karpusamy sir, so who spoke few words about the speakers, who is ready to present us, and also who welcomed each and every one of us to the meeting. And again we had the Selvaraj sir to speak few words about the Institution of Engineers, who gave the different facilities which is available in that particular institution. Just a small summary of it. And then followed by we had the moderator speak a few words about Miss Jyoti, like giving introduction about her. And followed by we had Miss Jyoti, the counseling and psychologist, to speak on the topic career planning and a future with sciences. So she started her speech by mentioning like what is career planning. So it is something to prepare and design what we need in a future, and it is important to provide us the clarity of what we are going to be in the future. And this will mainly focus on the intelligence, the value which we give towards our career, the goal setting and planning of it, our attitude and personality, interest towards something or the passion of something, strength, weakness, which plays a major role in choosing our career in the future. And career assessment helps us to do, and also which gives us suggestions to prefer what career or what degree over what. And next she started by mentioning like the parents of India especially focus on students, like they influence the students' career. So over foreign countries, we have students to choose up their degrees or students to choose up their careers. But especially in India, in southernmost areas, we have the parents' influence to get over the students' careers assignment. So while they speak of this, she started to mention few of the tips or few of the do's that a parent should do while he or she is influencing her child's dream or career. So it mainly occurs on the attitude of the child. The parent have to know the interest of the child towards something in their future, and the availability of that particular career or that particular degree like institution nearby their resources. And also the parent should not be over influencing the child's dream. So especially a student, for an example, a student will be definitely saying that my friend is studying in that particular institution, and that's the reason that I need to go to that institution. Or they'll be like branded. So people used to say that this is a good institution that students can move on to, and if the student is doing a degree in this particular field, definitely he or she will be getting a placement by the college. So this is sort of a thing that the public influence the child to choose his or her career. And the next most important thing is the scope of it. So while doing a degree, it's important to know that what can be done next. So when the student is studying 10th or 12th, 11th or 12th, they'll be in a position to think of like what is the next step they are going to do, and that is of course the degree. And after it, what can be done. So that is the major thing that a parent should focus while putting a student into a particular field. And then revenue. So even people say that I don't need any fee, any particular profit or revenue for it, but it's important that it's every mentality, the mentality of human is to get a revenue. And also it is important that whether you are getting a particular revenue that place your hard work for. And it's important to evaluate yourself. It is important to evaluate your child, their dreams and passion. And also it's the most major job which is done by a parent, that is to motivate their child on their passion. And then it's important for the child to get as confident enough to speak with the parent about a particular career that they wish for. And next, ma'am started by mentioning the different don'ts that a parent shouldn't do. That is, they should not dictate what the child should prefer in the future. It's just upon the child's wish, and the career scope can change. So it is not important to misguide the student in any ways or in any fields. And then there should be no wrong answers. Like not important that a parent should know all the fields. It's not important the parent should be well versed in different fields and careers. So it's important to do a research in different aspects so that they'll be given no wrong answers to the students. And then it's important to not allow the students to move on a particular field that does not have any scope in the future. And then ma'am started by mentioning about the different courses, that degrees that can be available, like starting from engineering. She mentioned about engineering, medical, and few other courses. Like for an example, for engineering, there are 3 ways of getting into it. That is JEE, TNEA, and also by writing private entrance exams. So in Tamil Nadu, we have 620 colleges which prefer engineering. And then for passing of in a engineering college or to get into it, most of us write JEE exams. So which have 2 papers. And after writing all the 2 papers, there'll be like 2.5 lakh students who is selected for writing the advanced entrance exam. Only 6% of Tamil Nadu students are able to get into the ITT field. And in Tiruchi College, only 28 students are there in the field of engineering from Tamil Nadu. So even if we get a good score in 12th, but the number of students getting into JEE in Tamil Nadu is comparatively less.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but thank you, Alina. You're speaking the whole thing. You're saying the whole speech all over again. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but is this required, sir? Do we have to rewind everything and say it all?
Okay. Janada, you can short and sweet, you can close it.
You can summarize, sweetheart. You're doing a wonderful memory, amazing. I'm very proud of you.
So much.
It's getting.
Thank you, it was a very good summary. Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah, but make it a little shorter, darling, please.
Yeah.
Sure.
Elena, you shortened it.
Yeah, please.
She grasped so much.
She's grasped completely. I'm so proud of you. Very wonderful. Wonderful memory, wonderful thinking. But I would love, it's just that every word. But it's like listening to Jyoti ma'am all over again. And I'd love to do that, but it's not the right time. Yeah, I'm so sorry to stop you, Beta. I'm so sorry.
No problem. Please make it short.
Sure, sir. And then ma'am started to speak about the medical scopes of medical and the different ways to enter into NEET exams. And also she said the different college aspects in our country. And also then she said that engineering or NEET is not only the decisions that a student can take. There are different opportunities like architecture, defense sector, DRDO, placement in even by completing DRDO, we can have placement in Royal companies, and also in web designing, in MSc, after doing MSc, they can be professors. And these are a few of the areas where Ms. Jyoti ma'am told about a student can be going on in their careers in their future. And after her speech, we had Dr. Padma Alan Kumar, who spoke on the humanities, arts, and other next generation careers. So with this, ma'am started by mentioning that next generation is something that a career that expect the info of the past, but with that particular info, what can you do in the future? And then she also mentioned that technology can change eventually, so that there is nothing that is fixed, so that everything that has improvement or update in technology will last till the end. And then she told the 4 main branches of technology, next generation careers. And then she mentioned about that like after you do do your 12th, you can in 12th you will be divided into 3 streams, that is science, commerce, and humanity. So in most of the areas we won't be having humanity. And also it is not necessary that we only have to choose technology based careers. We do have non-technology based careers, which ma'am mentioned in the after her slides. And she mentioned that environmental science is the most important thing to know, because everything that is developing in the future requires environment science. And also she spoke about artificial intelligence. And then she started to mention about the marketing, which can be done in the future by creating what you like graphic designing. And as the technology develops, if there needs improvement for cyber security too. And then artificial intelligence like robots also play a major role. And the combination of mechanics, computer, and electronics, which is mechatronics, which also plays a major role, followed by aeronautical engineering, marketing, cloud computing, digital marketing. It's not just Canva which comes under digital marketing. There are so many other platforms too. And while speaking of the non-technological sides, careers, psychology plays things, entertainment, education, and also fitness, event professions, photographers are part of non-technological careers. And then she also spoke about commerce and accountants. And then she started mentioning about the science and commerce field, which the other field, which is humanity, other than science and commerce, which does, if a student is not doing their 12th or 10th in humanity, it is not necessary that the student needs humanity when they are going for a degree. And also for completing 12th, it needs that the student have to be well versed in learning. The major skill that they use over here is reading and understanding it. Like they read the textbook and writes the exam, but when they move on to degree, they need a lot of skills that have to be enrolled. And there starts like knowledge, understanding, and application skills too. And then she also gave a small grasp of law, which comes under history and existing theory, in which they apply, they take the existing theory and apply into the present days. It's not like people most frequently assert that it's about anger, like debating, arguing, but it's not just that. And she also said about astrophysics. And then she told about that if she mentioned this an example, that is, if a person wants to read news or news, like a career as news reading, it's not important that they have to go in a literature field. It's important for them to know about the political science, economy, and also the most important thing is the skill that they do. So she ended up a speech by mentioning that any field or any career that have a technological advancement within their self in the present days would definitely last for the future. And if any student over here is a part of that particular updating technology within themselves in their particular field of science in their daily routines, definitely they are the most fittest person that can be moving on to that particular field. And what I personally gained throughout this presentation is that myself, a student of 9th grade who has an ambition of becoming a cardiologist, and actually it's a medical field. So myself was not aware of these many fields before both of ma'am's presentations. So I'm so happy to hear all this information. At the same time, if I get any other sort of interest towards science or any other fields, which is non-technological too, I'll definitely go research on different aspects. And if I have any queries regards to that, I'll definitely contact the numbers which which was sent by ma'am in the chat box earlier. So I thank the institution for providing me such a wonderful opportunity to listen. At the same time, I thank all the great eminent personalities present over here, starting from the presenters as well as moderators for giving this wonderful presentation. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Anna Joel. Really, it was a very good summary. It can say it's feedback is a summary of both the speakers. Thank you so much. Thank you, really. You grasped so much things. Really, very happy to note that. Now I call upon our honorary secretary, Dr. Kevin R. Kumar, to announce the next week's program and also propose vote of thanks. Dr. Kevin R. Kumar.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Good evening to all. First of all, I would like to announce the next week lecture program. The next week lecture program will be on 12th July 2022, and the speaker is Sri Nirmal Das. He is the chairman of West Bengal State Center Institution of Engineers, and he will be delivering a lecture on smart manufacturing. So I request everyone to participate in this. I also invite your friends and colleagues to participate in this program. It is absolutely free, and it is provided for the Technological Society. So thank you. And also it is a privilege to propose vote of thanks. So first of all, I would like to thank our today's speakers, Mrs. Jyoti, counselor and psychologist, for providing a wonderful lecture on career planning and futures with sciences. So I thank her for this lecture program, and I also thank our another speaker, Dr. Padma Anil Kumar, founder director Sitara Chennai, for providing a lecture program on humanities and next generation careers. So this was a very wonderful lecture program, and it was a long one, but still it is a good thing. All our participants were staying alive, and they are all giving a very good feedback in the chat box. So I thank both the speakers for delivering this lecture program, and I also thank the school students who have participated in a large manner. I also thank our dignitaries, our past chairman of Institution of Engineers, Dr. S. Karpasamy sir, and I thank each and every one of you. I also thank our associate partners for this program, Kumari Arivel Peravai. I thank Computer Society of India. I thank Indian Welding Society. I thank Indian Institution of Welding. I thank Indian Institution of Metals and the Indian Institution of Industrial Engineering. I thank once again. I thank each and every one of you. I also thank Engineer Selvaraj sir for hosting this program, and thank you everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Kevin. Indian Society of Non-Testing Testing, next to our professional body, they also joined today. Afternoon, the secretary called me, they also joined. One more thing, that is the latest development. Thank you, ma'am, both of you for presenting excellent session. We enjoyed your session. Thank you. We'll keep in touch. We'll have future programs with you. Thank you, madam. With your permission, we'll post.
And Padma madam, really we are thankful to you for both of you for the informative presentation. Mainly useful to the younger generation. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Say good night to everyone, madam. Good night. Thank you. Thank you so much. With your permission, we'll post. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.